Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's tutorial, we'll be learning how to draft a basic body pattern. As you can see, I am drawing a straight line which is going to serve as my base, and I labeled it my shoulder line. Then from the shoulder line, I'll be measuring my vertical measurement, which is the bust point, my under bust, my waistline, and my top length. I am measuring all through so I can get a perfect straight line. Now I'm going to draw my straight line across. Now I'm labeling the lines. As you can see, I'm labeling the lines, the bust point, the under bust, the waistline, and the top length. The next thing is to measure the half of my shoulder measurement, which is 7. Then I will come down by 1 inch from there to form my shoulder slope. My neck width is 3 inches. I will take that. Then from the shoulder slope, I'm going to come down by 7, which is the half of my round armhole. Then I'm going to draw a straight line, and that will form the base for my chest line. Then I'm going to measure 7 all around so I can have a perfect straight line from the shoulder slope down to the chest line. I'll find the midpoint of the armhole, and that is 3.5. Then I'll come in by half of an inch from there. I'll measure my bust, the quarter of my bust measurement on the chest line, and that is 8.5. Then I will connect all the lines. I'll be taking the half of my bust span, which is also known as nipple to nipple measurement, which is 3.5, down to the last line, which is the top length, as you can see. Then I will connect with a ruler. I'll connect all the lines with a ruler. Now from the waistline, I'll go in by half of an inch. I love going in by half of an inch. If you're busty, you can go in by 1 inch. From the M line or the hip line, I will come up by 1 inch. Then I will connect all the lines together, as you can see, from the bust point down to the waistline, as you can see, then down to the 1 inch from the hip line. Now I'll be taking my horizontal measurement. After doing that, already taking my bust measurement, the quarter of my bust measurement, to get the armhole. Now I'll go to the waistline to get the quarter of my waistline, which is 7 inches. Then I'll measure the dart I brought out, that is 1 inch. Then I'll add it to the measurement. Now I'll go to the hip line to take the quarter of my hip measurement, and that is 10. Now I'll draw a line, a straight line, to connect all the lines. For the neck part, the neck width is 3, and I'm making sure that my neck depth is also 3 inches. That is the standard neck measurement, and I will use my French curve ruler to connect it. Now you can decide to add your sewing allowance to your pattern, or you can decide to add it when you cut your pattern on the fabric. You can decide to add it to the fabric when you're cutting it. But I decided to add my sewing allowance to the pattern so that I won't forget when I am inputting on my fabric. And I measured, that is measuring 1.5 all through as my sewing allowance. Now I want to trace out with my marker so that the lines will be more visible. And that is all for the front bodice pattern. For the side of the pattern, you can decide to make it coffee, but I decided to leave mine like that. So if you want to make it coffee, you just go up by 1 or 2 inch, then you use your curve to bring out the shape. But I decided to leave mine like that. Then I cut out. And that is all for the front pattern. I'm so sorry, I forgot to add the bust dart when I was drafting out the front pattern. So all you have to do is to come down by 2 inches from the bust line, then you connect to the dart line. That is the bust span line I measured earlier. You connect it to the dart line, and that is all for the bust dart. When you close in the bust dart, you will see that the side is shorter than the actual length. Don't you worry. When we draft out the back pattern, you will see why it is necessary. For the back pattern, we will be repeating every other thing we've done for the front pattern. The lines, the horizontal lines, and the vertical lines. You will be repeating everything for the back pattern. Before I start imputing my measurement, I am taking out 1 inch for the zipper allowance. It's your choice. You can decide to have zipper allowance on your pattern, and you can decide not to have it when you are placing your pattern on your fabric. You can decide to put your zipper allowance on your fabric rather than your pattern paper. As for me, I am drafting out my zipper allowance also. And as you can see, I measured 1 inch down all through the lines. Then I am connecting with a straight line. Now I'm going to be starting my horizontal measurement from the zipper line I drew. From the zipper line I drew, not from the edge. You start your measurement from that zipper line, as you can see me doing. Now for my back neck depth, I am using 1 inch, while for the neck width is still the same inch I use for the front, which is 3. So for the back, you can decide on your neck depth. You can use 2 inches, you can use 3, depending on your choice. But for me, I am using 1 inch for the neck depth. As you can see, I am going down by 7 again for half of my round armhole, and I am drawing out my chest line again. Actually, everything that we've done for the front pattern is what you can see I am doing again for the back pattern, except for the zipper allowance that I am adding to the back pattern. Oh, sorry, I forgot to tell you, for when you're measuring, the shoulder to the waistline at the front is always longer than the shoulder to the waistline at the back. So for my back pattern, my top length is going to be reduced by 2 inches, and that is going to be 21. While for the front pattern, I measured 23. So if you forget to measure your client's shoulder to waist at the back, you can remove 2 inches from the shoulder to waist of your client at the front pattern, and that's going to give you a perfect measurement for the back. I am repeating the measurement. I am imputing my half of my bust span, but I am starting my measurement from the zipper line. I am also drawing it. Now from the back pattern, we are going to come in on the waistline also by half of an inch, as you can see, like I did for the front pattern. Now for this back pattern, I'll be connecting the line from my chest line. You know, for the front pattern, I connected the line from my bust point, but for this one, it's going to start from the chest line down to the 1 inch I came up from the hem line or the hip line, any of the one you prefer to call it. I'll measure out the quarter of my waist on my waistline, and that is 7. Then measure out the dart I removed, that is 1 inch. I added it. Then on the hemline, I'll be measuring the quarter of my hip measurement, and that is 10 inches. Then I will connect the lines. And I'm also tracing now with my marker so that the lines will be visible. I want to thank everybody. Thank you to those that believed in me enough to subscribe to my channel. Thank you to everybody that viewed my first video on my channel. Thank you for the returning viewers. Thank you for the returning subscribers. You guys are really, really, really great. I thank you so much for believing in me to subscribe to my channel, for believing in me to watch my YouTube videos. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And for the first viewers, the first timer, do well to give me a thumbs up, and please kindly subscribe for more interesting tutorials ahead. Thank you so much. You might be wondering why there's no butt darts for the back pattern. There won't be butt darts for the back pattern because actually you know that the back is flatter than the front. The front has the breast, so that is the essence for the butt dart. And you will be wondering also that I said earlier that the top length of the back is going to be shorter than the top length of the front pattern. Yes, the butt that we took out on the front pattern will make the front pattern and the back pattern to be equal at the side. Now we cut out our back pattern. Now we have our front pattern and our back pattern. Thank you for watching. Bye.